Well, I'm joined today by Caroline Barber, who's the Chief Executive of Transaid, and by Richard Burnett, the Chief Executive of the RHA. And Richard, first of all, why is Transaid and its work so important to you?
Transaid has been a really important charity for me for a long time. Caroline, I don't know whether or not you remember that.
I do remember those, yes.
So that T-shirt was a Transaid T-shirt back when I worked for Wincanton, and it must be about 15 years ago, maybe a bit longer perhaps. But you know, Transaid was a very important charity to Graham McFall, who was the chief executive. He was a big part of Transaid as a charity in those early days. And the work that was being undertaken, you know, in terms of road safety, in terms of the focus on driver training and making sure the roads were safe, Transaid's work has just grown, evolved, and changed. You know, there's a long history, I think, you know, particularly from my perspective, in terms of how important Transaid is to this industry and how we support.
And of course, Richard, you visited Zambia with Transaid, didn't you, to see their work in, I think it was 2019. What did you think when you saw that going on?
Look, that was an incredible, I think, life-changing journey for me personally. I think everybody who talked about it that had gone out there and experienced and seen the great work that Transaid undertakes, and whether it's the MAMAs or whether or not it's the ITC in terms of driver training. But what really struck me when I went out there, I met some amazing people, just how far they have to travel as well to get medical support and help. You know, in some cases, 20, 30 miles by foot. You know, so if there's an emergency and you need to get there quickly, it really struck you just how important, you know, the bicycle ambulances, you know, were and the part that they play.
Well, Caroline, you are the person who runs this amazing charity and has done all this work with Richard. But these past 12 months must have been incredibly difficult in terms of how you operate under COVID conditions. Can you give us a bit of a flavour of how it's been during that difficult time?
Oh, thanks very much, Rod. COVID-19 has affected Transaid's work significantly, as it has many organisations and, of course, many individuals around the world. Our funding has been affected, and that has had a knock-on impact in terms of our ability to deliver the work we're doing. And this is why the kind of initiatives, this wonderful initiative that Richard with the RHA is doing, means so very much to us, to keep the awareness about Transaid's work going and to raise funds for our vital work in Africa. So our work has never been more needed, and there is a lot of work that the team have been asked to do by the Ministry of Health, and this is based on our long history in Zambia, where we've actually been asked to integrate a COVID-19 response wherever we can in the areas that we're working.
That's fantastic news, Caroline, and a really impressive image of just what Transaid does in this very, very difficult area because of COVID. So, Richard, why have you decided to do this run?
Well, do you know what? It was really funny a few weeks ago. Myself and Caroline were talking about, you know, how we could do some fundraising because, you know, this last year has been incredibly difficult for Transaid. So, you know, how could we sort of turn ourselves to focusing on raising some money? Caroline knows I hate cycling. I spend more time falling off a bike than I do staying on it. And I would much rather stay on 2 feet. So look, I do a lot of running. I run regularly, you know, pretty much most weeks, usually half marathons, but I'm quite capable of running a marathon. So why not encourage everyone to get out there and start doing some running for Transaid? Not just me, but everyone else. You know, get out there, put your running shoes on, go and run for Transaid, and let's raise some money for this amazing charity.
Right, and where are you running from and to?
Right, well, so you know, I live on the Wirral, so I guess the idea is that I'm going to run not far from where I live, and I will run around the Wirral Peninsula, and that will take me eventually to the RHA's brand new brokerage office in Birkenhead, and that will be 26.2 miles from pretty much start to finish.
Well, we'd all wish you good luck with that. But 26.2 miles training, how are you getting in shape for that?
Well, like I say, you know, most Sunday mornings I will drop the running shoes on. I'll do at least sort of 14, 15 miles anyway. And that's feels like a walk in the park, really. So I'm probably up to about 18, 19 miles in terms of distance. I don't think it's going to take me too much longer to kind of push it and get up to maybe 20, 22 miles, and then just do the 26 on the day.
Well, that's good news. Now, what can we do to support you?
We would just like to get people to jump on board, even if you don't want to run. Perhaps maybe you'd be happy to sponsor, and raise some money for charity. But equally, if you're happy to run, perhaps you would like to be able to create your own run, whether it's 5 miles, 6 miles, whatever you feel capable of. But raising some money for Transaid, this amazing charity, is something that we would really like you to get on board with.
And if we want to give some money to your cause, Richard, how can we do that?
Well, there's a Just Giving page that's been set up. It's live. It's there already. Make a donation and support Transaid, this great cause.
Lovely. We'll certainly do that. Now, Caroline, just tell us about how other people can get involved in this and do their bit.
Absolutely, Rod. Well, we would encourage as many people as possible to get involved with this run. Hopefully you'll be inspired hearing what Richard's doing, and we would love you to create your own personal challenge. It will run for a week, the Run for Transaid, and if you are able to, we'd also love and encourage you to sponsor Richard on his personal challenge. And thank you so much. All of the help from the industry has never been more needed, and it really, really does help keep our vital work going.
Well, thank you very much, Caroline. That's very clear. That's Caroline Barber, the Chief Executive of Transaid, and Richard Burnett, the Chief Executive of the RHA. And best of luck, Richard, with your run. We're all rooting for you. We're sure it'll go very well.
Thanks, Rod.